These are 100 of the weirdest Mario facts. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is the highest grossing video game movie of all time. In fact, it made over 3 times as much money as Pokemon Detective Pikachu, the second highest grossing film based on a video game. The Super Mario Bros. Movie is also the 3rd highest grossing animated film, just behind Frozen 2 and the Lion King live action remake. Wait, how is that animated? While many fans heard Charles Martinet's iconic Mario voice in Super Mario 64 for the first time, his first appearance as the voice of Mario was technically in Mario Teaches Typing for the PC. While Mario Teaches Typing was released in 1994, Charles Martinet's career as the voice of Mario started in 1991, as he would regularly attend trade shows for Nintendo, which featured a 3D Mario head display that would move to match the head and mouth movements of Charles Martinet. Nintendo has continued to do this real-time Mario concept several times since, including at E3 2007, where Martinet famously referred to Sony as fantastic, and then had Mario's nose extend like Pinocchio. While Chris Pratt plays Mario in the Super Mario Bros. Movie, Charles Martinet actually has 2 cameos in the film. He plays both Mario's father and a supporting character known as Giuseppe, who has Mario's iconic voice from the games. In NBA Street V3, which featured iconic NBA stars, you could actually play as Mario, Luigi, and Peach in the GameCube version. The 3 characters were referred to as Nintendo All-Stars, and they even got their own Nintendo court, which was based off the Super Mario series. While we've never seen Peach's parents in a Mario game, early Nintendo comics actually depicted artwork of King and Queen Toadstool. In Mario Power Tennis, one of Shy Guy's victory animations shows him stumbling as his mask falls to the ground. While you can't see what's behind the mask in the game, fans have adjusted the game's camera to reveal that Shy Guy is completely faceless. Mario's original color palette has been swapped. In his earliest appearances, he donned red overalls with a blue undershirt, unlike his modern garb featuring blue overalls with a red undershirt, which makes a lot more sense because overalls are denim. While Miyamoto originally envisioned having Mario ride a dinosaur in the original Super Mario Bros., the concept was ultimately scrapped due to hardware limitations of the NES. However, you can technically ride Yoshi in an NES title. In the NES port of Mario is missing. You can ride Yoshi as Luigi. In Mario Party, Wario has this voice line.
"So I missed!"
The line actually sparked a long debate among fans that argued whether he was saying, "Do I missed," or "So I missed," which roughly translates to, "Oh damn" in German. Decades later, Charles Martinet responded to a tweet on Twitter, stating that, "I'm the one who said it and it's Do I missed," finally clearing up the confusion. Another ambiguous Mario voice line can be found in Super Mario 64 when he throws Bowser. Many fans hear the line as, "So long, A Bowser," with fans even jokingly quoting the line as, "So long, Gay Bowser." However, Charles Martinet has confirmed that the line is actually, "So long, King Bowser." Super Mario 3D Land's Special World 8 map music actually originated from a short video Nintendo created for Flipnote Studio on the DSi, which sang a guide on how to draw Mario. In the Wii U version of LEGO City Undercover, there's several references to the Super Mario series, including balloons that look like superstars and even an unlockable Mario hat. Paper Mario originally was going to be a direct sequel to Super Mario RPG. However, due to Nintendo's falling out with Square, Paper Mario was born as a result. In Japan, the Mario & Luigi series is titled Mario & Luigi RPG, clearly taking inspiration from Super Mario RPG. The character Gino from Super Mario RPG has a brief cameo in one of the minigames in Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga. However, he was cut from the game's remake since he was owned by Square Enix. Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga was supposed to include several cameos from characters from other Nintendo series, including Link, Fox McCloud, and Captain Olimar. Each character would give you an item from the respective games, but the cameos were ultimately scrapped as the items were replaced with generic items. In 2013, a Super Mario 64 speedrunner found a glitch that clipped him on top of the ceiling of Tick-Tock Clock. However, after many other speedrunners failed to recreate this glitch, they concluded that an ionizing particle was responsible for this phenomenon, meaning that the sun managed to change the game's code by a single digit, causing the ceiling to be registered as just low enough for the speedrunner to land on top of, which to me just seems like extreme cope, but maybe that's just me. While Mario Paint is considered to be one of the most obscure Mario games, it's actually got a title sequeled Mario Artist Paint Studio for the Nintendo 64 DD. However, neither the game nor the 64 DD were released outside of Japan due to the DD's poor sales performance. Super Mario Bros. And Friends, When I Grow Up, might technically be the first Mario Paint title. This obscure game released in 1992, and it's just a Nintendo licensed CD-ROM where you color in pictures of Mario and his friends. The first ever Super Mario game that was playable on a PC was Super Mario Special, which was a PC port of Super Mario Bros. Developed by Hudson Software all the way back in 1986. Super Mario Special actually has its own unique items, including the hammer from Donkey Kong and the wing, which essentially let you swim in the air. The golden clocks in Super Mario 3D Land actually originate from Super Mario Bros. Special as well, as there's a clock item that you can collect to add 100 seconds to your in-game timer. In Mario Tennis for the Game Boy Color, the only way to unlock Yoshi, Bowser, Wario, and Waluigi is by using an N64 transfer pack to transfer your data from Mario Tennis 64 to your Game Boy Color cartridge. Yeah, maybe not every game should be like Pokemon. Mario technically has his own first-person shooter. In 1993, Nintendo released Yoshi's Safari, a game that utilized the SNES's Super Scope and has the player ride on top of Yoshi as you shoot down Mario items. Mario Safari is also the first game in the Mario series where Princess Toadstool was referred to as Peach in the West. Throughout the mid-90s, Nintendo released several educational Mario games under the title Mario's Early Years for both Super Nintendo and PC. These games include Mario's Early Years Fun with Letters, Fun with Numbers, and Preschool Fun. Nintendo actually released their first educational Mario title all the way back in 1983. Donkey Kong Jr. Math was a Famicom game where players would advance through the levels by performing basic arithmetic. Many fans believe that Daisy was forgotten about after Super Mario Land, until she was later playable in Mario Tennis for the N64. However, she actually appeared in NES Open Tournament Golf in 1991 as a non-playable character, playing the role as Luigi's caddy. The original PAL version of Mario Party 8 was recalled and taken off store shelves due to the character Kamek using the term spastic, while simply referring to an out-of-control train. However, the word is considered to be an ableist slur in the United Kingdom, so it was later replaced with the word erratic instead. There's an official Nintendo licensed magazine that was available on the SNES's Satellaview, which is perhaps the most crude and bizarre piece of media Mario has ever been in. This was a virtual magazine that showed a dark side of Mario, where he goes to jail and even kills Peach and Toad. None of it really makes any sense, and there's even a cameo of Bill Gates for some reason. In the original Donkey Kong title, Mario isn't even given a name and is referred to as Jumpman instead. The first game in which he's referred to as Mario was Donkey Kong Jr. Mario apparently got his name from Mario Seagal, which was the landlord of the warehouse used by Nintendo of America. Donkey Kong 94's ending shows Mario using a super mushroom for the first time. The game concludes by having a rescued Pauline give Mario a super mushroom, as he stares at it in shock, only to have him double in size to his surprise. Funnily enough, in the Mario movie, Mario claims to hate mushrooms, so this may explain his fearful expression. In the 1980s, McDonald's suggested a partnership with Nintendo in which Mario's M on his hat would become the McDonald's logo. However, this request was declined. McDonald's and Mario did eventually collaborate though, as in 1990 they partnered with Nintendo to create Happy Meal toys based on Super Mario Bros. 3, and the two companies have had several partnerships since. As a part of marketing for Super Mario Strikers, concept art for a poster promoting the game was made that featured a crude illustration of two soccer balls and a net with the caption, "You're gonna need a pair." However, the poster was scrapped due to obvious reasons. Next Level Games, the developers behind Mario Strikers, also plan to release a volleyball game titled Super Mario Spikers, which featured the characters using wrestling-like moves. However, Nintendo turned down the project as they found it to be too gritty and violent. Many of the vehicles in the NTSC and PAL versions of Mario Party Wii have wildly different names. For instance, America's Sugar Scoot is called the Bon Bon in Europe. While many fans refer to this shell as the blue shell, it's canonically referred to as the spiny shell. However, the nickname has become so popular that the Koopa General in the Mario movie refers to his own signature ability as the blue shell. Bowser has a brother. In Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, the manual actually refers to this version of Bowser as Bowser's brother, which explains the new cyan color scheme. The NES game Wrecking Crew actually got a sequel in Japan called Wrecking Crew 98 for the Super Famicom. This game even has Foreman Spike team up with Bowser to defeat Mario. The artist who created the design for Foreman Spike also created the design for Wario, and honestly, the two characters do look somewhat similar. In Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, hitting the ball into one of the flower beds in Peach's castle grounds can cause Pikmin to jump out of the flowers. During development, New Super Mario Bros. Wii was going to have an item that gave you a chicken suit, but the idea was scrapped. Mario and Sonic were the only athletes to attend the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. While most people know that Bowser Jr.'s mother isn't Princess Peach, it turns out that his actual mother is Miyamoto. At least, when asked if he knew who Bowser Jr.'s mother was, he nodded and ambiguously pointed to himself. In Mario Superstar Baseball, the teammates you choose alongside your captain will actually influence the team name. For instance, if you pick Mario and your team consists of Luigi, Monty Mole, Noki, and a Pianta, your team will actually be called the Mario Sunshines, which doesn't make a lot of sense since Luigi wasn't in Mario Sunshine. Mario Superstar Baseball also has a dictionary that will explain baseball terminology to the player. However, this feature was removed outside of Japan. The Koopa brothers from Paper Mario are obviously a spoof of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Interestingly enough though, the concept for these Ninja Koopas date all the way back to the Super Mario manga, which released 9 years before Paper Mario. Luigi has cost Nintendo millions of dollars. Not only did Nintendo lose $457 million during the year of Luigi after the launch of the Wii U, but the GameCube is Nintendo's second worst selling console, and it launched with Luigi's Mansion. So I'm starting to think that this isn't a coincidence. In Luigi's Mansion, talking to King Boo before you can enter the game's final boss fight will cause him to say, "I will not give up my favorite decoration. I like Mario just where he is," which is a reference to Star Wars Return of the Jedi, in which Jabba the Hutt says nearly the exact same thing when referring to Han Solo and Carbonite. Mario is a veteran. In the 1983 Game & Watch game Mario's Bombs Away, Mario plays the role of a soldier. Due to the game's theme and design of the soldiers' outfits, many fans believe this game takes place during the Vietnam War. Mario's last name is Mario, at least according to the 1993 Super Mario Bros. Film. The theme played during Mario & Luigi's plumber service commercial in the Super Mario Bros. Movie was actually the opening to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show. The Super Mario Bros. Super Show has a cameo from Inspector Gadget. A live-action version of the character was a part of one of the opening segments in the series. This isn't as random as it may seem, however, as both Inspector Gadget and the Super Mario Bros. Super Show were produced by Deke Entertainment. Princess Peach Showtime is actually not the first game to star Princess Peach. In 2005, Nintendo released a spin-off game for the DS titled Super Princess Peach, which is a take on the original Super Mario Bros. Story, having you rescue the Mario Bros. As Peach instead of the other way around. The developers for Sega All-Stars Racing originally considered making a game crossover including Mario characters, similar to Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. In Mario Hoops 3-on-3, several of the characters have nicknames referred to as baller names. For instance, Mario is called the Jumpman. However, my personal favorite of these names is Donkey Kong's, who's referred to as the Donkey Monkey. While Mario Hoops was developed by Square Enix, it contains several unlockable crossover characters from Final Fantasy, such as Black Mage. Mario Sports Mix continued this trend and even added the slimes from Dragon Quest. Square Enix went on to release another title for the Wii called Fortune Street, which was just a crossover between the Super Mario series and Dragon Quest. This game essentially just plays like a crappy version of Mario Party. Fortune Street wasn't actually the first game Square Enix made in this series. In 2007, they released Itadaki Street DS, which was essentially the same concept. However, the game never released outside of Japan. Mario vs. Donkey Kong had 5 additional levels, known as Mario vs. Donkey Kong E. These levels could only be unlocked through e-reader cards, and these cards were only made available to 1,000 people who participated in a competition in Japan. In Paper Mario The Thousand Year Door, there's a noose in the middle of Rogueport that is there for public executions. And yeah, that seems way too out of place for a Mario game. While many fans know that Mario is the villain in Donkey Kong Jr., where you actually have to free a caged Donkey Kong, Mario is far more cruel in the DK game on the Game & Watch called Donkey Kong Circus, where Mario essentially tortures the poor ape as he is forced to perform ridiculous, dangerous stunts. Nintendo's original products were Hanafuda cards, but there's actually a set of Mario-themed Hanafuda cards that were made as a Club Nintendo reward. The game Tetris Attack for the Super Nintendo is themed around Yoshi's Island, despite having really nothing to do with Yoshi at all, likely to make the game more appealing to a larger audience. Ironically, the game has nothing to do with Tetris either, as instead it's an entirely different game known as Panel de Pon in Japan. The Tetris branding was simply used for name recognition. However, the series is now called Puzzle League. During the credits for Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, Mario and Luigi will dance by, swinging their arms from side to side and taking a step, which is a reference to the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, where this dance was referred to as the Mario. Before Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix, Nintendo licensed a Mario-themed dancing arcade known as Mario Undake. Mario Strikers Charged is the first Mario game to not have an E rating, as it's actually E10+. Super Mario Odyssey is the first and only mainline Mario game to not have an E rating, also being rated E10+. I Am a Teacher Super Mario Sweater was a game for the Nintendo Famicom released in 1986, where you input measurements and create actual designs for sweaters. The game was created by Royal Industries, a company known for its sewing machines. Before Pokemon, Game Freak actually developed their own Mario game, that being Yoshi for both the NES and Game Boy. They also developed a second Mario game, a puzzle platformer called Mario and Wario. However, this game never released outside of Japan. Did you know there is a Mario bowling game? Well, not really. Mario Bowl was the name of a Japanese software that was themed around Super Mario World. All it did was keep track of your score during bowling games and feature various animations depending on what you bowled, just like the software you'd expect to see at any bowling alley. Mario & Luigi Bowser's Inside Story contains a fountain featuring a statue of Princess Peach. However, there's actually an unused texture for this fountain where the statue of Peach portrays her as a mermaid. Several times in the Super Mario Bros. Super Show, Toad takes off his mushroom cap, revealing that he's bald. Decades later, the director of Super Mario Odyssey went on to say that the mushroom cap was intended to simply be a part of his head, essentially debunking the cartoon. In 2004, Nintendo released Mario Pinball Land for the Game Boy Advance, a pinball game which starred Mario in the form of a ball. But technically, this wasn't the first Mario pinball game. In 1992, Nintendo licensed a Super Mario Bros. Pinball machine, which had 4,200 copies manufactured. This pinball game actually used audio clips from Charles Martinet, making this technically the first game to feature Charles Martinet's Mario voice. While most of the music from Puzzles & Dragons Super Mario Edition was borrowed from the new Super Mario Bros. Series, the song that plays on the World 2 map is a remix of the theme Slimy Spring Galaxy from Super Mario Galaxy 2. Densetsu no Staffy 3 was the third installment of the Legend and Starfy series that never released outside Japan. The 8th stage in this game actually features Wario for several of its levels, and he will help Starfy by taking on some of his various transformations, and he'll even give you a treasure at the end of each level, including a Wario cap. In Wario World, Wario will taunt the player on the game's pause screen by saying, "na na 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 na." However, if you sit on this pause screen for 50 minutes, Wario will stop making the taunting noise and say, "sorry," instead. While Daisy and Luigi are often portrayed as love interests in the Mario series, they've also poked fun at the idea of Daisy and Waluigi being in a couple. In Mario Party 6, pairing the two together will give you the team name Awkward Date. The prefixes in Wario and Waluigi's names originate from the Japanese word wari, meaning bad. And in Mario Tennis Aces, Wario and Waluigi become possessed and turn evil. So does this make the characters Wa Wario and Wa Waluigi? Nintendogs, which was produced by Shigeru Miyamoto, contains several references to Mario, including wearable Mario and Luigi hats and a music box that plays the original Super Mario Bros. Theme. The model for the Shiba Inu from Super Mario Odyssey was actually taken from Nintendogs. Super Mario Maker was released on September 11th, 2015. One of Nintendo's representatives, Julie Gagnon, ended up releasing a public statement to address concerned fans, who found the date peculiar since it's often associated with an American tragedy. She essentially stated that the release date was chosen because Mario Maker was celebrating the 30th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., which released on September 13th in 1985, and the chosen date was just the closest Friday to that date. Mario Kart Wii was the first Mario game to introduce bikes. Excitebike Bun Bun Mario Battle was a Mario-themed reskin of the original Excitebike NES title, which featured several different playable Mario characters. The game was exclusive to the Satellaview for the Super Famicom. There was a canceled sequel to Super Mario World. Super Mario's Wacky World was a game developed by Nova Logic for the Philips CDI. The developers created the game with the intent of Nintendo hiring them, and while Nintendo was impressed by the prototype, they ultimately had the project canceled due to the CDI's poor performance. In 2017, Nintendo partnered with Kellogg's to create the Super Mario cereal, which included its own amiibo, called the Delicious Amiibo, that was built into the cereal box. It was only compatible with Super Mario Odyssey, and when scanned, it would reveal a Power Moon, just like any other generic amiibo. In 2018, Nintendo and Kellogg's re-released the cereal with different packaging. However, it sadly no longer came with the amiibo card. Yoshi Topsy Turvy was called Yoshi's Universal Gravitation in non-American regions. Super Mario Wonder marks the first Mario game to replace Charles Martinet as the voice of Mario. The last Mario game to include new voice lines from Charles Martinet was Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope. However, Charles Martinet has continued to be featured in Mario titles through archival voice lines, such as the upcoming Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door remake. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, go check out this video right here. It's a Nintendo iceberg, and if you watched all of this video, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy that one. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.